All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. A busy month of May, and thank God we're into June. The summertime here, getting hot, and yeah, we slowed things down a little bit, but still got a lot of good drinking going on here at the Wine Watch over the summer months. All right, we started out with a little Burgundy here for this tasting. Well, actually, this is all Burgundy. Neil Rosenthal, people were in trade to see me, and these wines, some great small producers, and some older vintage wines, which is you don't see many people with older vintage wines. Most distributors sell the current vintage, move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. So it's nice to have older vintage wines, especially from great producers from Burgundy, available. Kudos to Neil for that. All right, we start out with a small producer, Bitouzet Prieur from Volnay, and a third of their holdings are Chardonnay, 2/3 Pinot Noir. The son Francois has taken over from Vincent, the father, for the day-to-day operations of the state. Vincent's still there, but their family goes back to 1802, and the Bitouzet family settled in Auxey Duress, and Monsieur Gillotte was the mayor of that village in 1804, so obviously you get to know people really quick there. And this is a Lieu D, the Meursault Les Corbins, and it's on the north side of the appellation. A good amount of ripe tree fruit here. This is what you get from Meursault. I always say it's the most California-esque of all of the appellations in Burgundy. Well, the big three, Meursault, Chenes, and Puligny, the three greatest villages for white wine in Burgundy. This wine's got some lovely forward lemon drop, candy fruit, green apple, some light smoky notes, very complex bouquet of aromas here, and really well-built wine on the tongue. These 2010s are still babies. They're going to be around for a long time. This wine's got a solid core of fruit, green apple, Jolly Rancher, really rich lemon zest, and tongue-tingly minerality, and a little smoky nuance on the finish. Just the right touch of new oak here. Very long, firm acidity, leaving the tongue salivating for food. This wine needs a bit of time, but all the right stuff. Excellent juice. It's $71. Burgundy is just getting more and more expensive. The Puligny Montrachet up next, Les Levrons. This is also a Lieu D, so not a premier cru. And Puligny Montrachet, very precise. A lot of mineral notes to the lemon drop, candy fruit, light flinty, and really lovely concentration and richness on the palate. But this wine, still tightly wound. The 2010s need some time. And Puligny is always a village that needs time to me. Not the most forward of all of them, but very rich and concentrated on the palate. That laser-like acidity showing, that bright lemon drop, candy, citrus, toasty, flinty mineral notes, and just a little bit of toasty oak spice there as well. Bright and zesty. This wine needs some time also, but everything in proportion. Most excellent juice for just a named vineyard wine. And like I said, that's the 2010 vintage, a great vintage in Burgundy. 2009, Meursault Perrieres. This is the top of the food chain for Meursault, one of the greatest premier crus. This wine's 2009, so much more forward and appealing. Lovely bouquet of fresh apples, lemon drop citrus, white flowers, hints of vanilla spice. Really rich with some kind of nutmeg, some nice spice notes in there from the oak. Very complex bouquet, very forward, rich and unctuous on the palate, creamy texture, the good hand of minerality here, but a lot of fruit showing. These 2009s already drinking good, but have wonderful structure. These are going to be wines that are around for a while, but definitely I would drink 09 over 2010 in the white category as well as the red for Burgundy. This wine could last a decade or more in your cellar. Most excellent juices, $96.50. And that's cheap for premier cru wine from a village like Meursault today. All right, Bitouzet Prieur, the Bourgogne. And the fruit from this comes from 40-year-old vines that lie just outside of the Volnay appellation. And with small producers like Bitouzet, man, this Bourgogne is your calling card. So definitely a step up from the big producers Bourgogne. This wine's got a really unique nose, kind of a peppery spice, almost like that pepper you find in tequila. And dark raspberry, dark cherry fruit, and some fresh earth, kind of black truffle note showing through that. Even more pronounced on the second day. This wine, really lovely complexity for a Bourgogne. A good amount of that peppery spice on the tongue also, with that fresh raspberry, wild strawberry fruit, and earthy notes. Really light and refreshing red with wonderful balance and structure for a wine at this quality level. Just a Bourgogne, very good juice at $32.25. All right, the Beaune Cent-Vignes, which 10 vines, 100-year-old vines, I guess that means anyways. A good amount of dark cherry and raspberry fruit, gravelly, minerally notes. You get some lovely exotic spice and mint Floral notes here from this Beaune, and really lovely, pretty raspberry and strawberry fruit, but a little bit tannic still. These 08s, and a little rough still around the edges, needs a little bit of time, but nice structure and a gravelly, kind of earthy, truffly note on the finish, exotic spices, floral notes. This one could use a little bit more time. Excellent juice, though, at 53.75. And then the 06 Volnay Clos de Chenes Premier Cru. This is, well, Vincent's favorite vineyard of all, and 2006. Starting to show nicely right now. This wine's got a good amount of fresh earth, kind of barnyardy nose. A little funky on the nose. You know, we like the little funkiness you get in Burgundy. Dark cherry and plum fruits, and really not, kind of a bazooka bubblegum note coming out on this wine on the second day. Really odd. But smooth berry fruit on the tongue. A good hand of that earthy, barnyardy notes coming through from the nose on the finish with some nice black spice. Really long and layered. This wine's drinking nicely right now, as most 2006s are, but still has lovely balance and could go a little bit in your cellar if you want to keep it at 73.50. That's what we had to drink with our friend Trey from Neil Rosenthal. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.